Hi everyone, today I'll be doing some swatches of my Winsor Newton Designer's gouache. I actually did these swatches a while ago. I think it was even before Christmas. It was at our old home, so definitely before Christmas. But lately, especially this week that I went back to creating landscapes with gouache in my sketchbook, I have been using this chart a lot, and it reminded me of this footage and how much I wanted to finally make this video for you. You probably already noticed that I tried to keep the order of the colors exactly as it is in the official Winsor Newton chart. Obviously I don't have all the colors, but at least the ones I had I tried to put in the right order. I will do a comparison in the end of this video to see how the colors are in reality compared to the chart, because some charts are not always accurate, and I'll tell you more about that in a little while. I don't really do color charts and swatches for my paints. This was actually the first one I've ever done, but with gouache, because the darker colors dry lighter and the lighter colors dry darker, I had a hard time judging my colors from the palette. And the color sample on the tubes is not really exact, so I definitely wanted to have a color chart of those. Also, because with gouache you mix white paint to lighten up the colors, I wanted to see how the whites would interact with the paints. For this purpose, what you see me do in this color chart is, first of all, I try to use as less water as possible. I actually don't use any water, but my brush is a little bit moist because I keep rinsing it. So that's one thing. And then the top row is the color as it is straight from the tube. The second one is 50% mixed with zinc white, and the third one is 50% mixed with permanent white. Obviously, the 50% is just an estimation I did, trying to pull the same amount of paint with my brush. It's not exact, but I tried to keep it consistent throughout the whole color chart. Also, it is just a number I picked because I thought it would be easy to try and keep it consistent. Obviously, adding more white will keep changing the color, and adding less white will keep the color more saturated, but having a sample of what the color would look like mixed with white was enough for me. Also, I felt it was quite important for me to check the mixing with colors with both white, because I had them in my possession and I wanted to know the full possibilities that I had in my hands. The permanent white of the Winsor Newton Designer's gouache is the equivalent of titanium white as we know it. It is more opaque than the zinc white. It flows a little bit harder on the paper. It's more solid in its consistency, let's say. And it has a strong character. When mixed with other paints, you may already notice it on the color chart, it does affect the color a bit more than the zinc white does. Oh, and if we can really say that about whites, the permanent white tends to go a little bit on the blue side and zinc white a little bit on the yellow side. Obviously they're both whites, but if you mix them with other paints you will understand that. All in all, I think that zinc white is better to be mixed with other paints, because I have read that permanent white can affect the light fastness a little bit as well, so if you're painting in a sketchbook, obviously that's not an issue, but if you are trying to sell your paintings, maybe zinc white is the way to go. Permanent white is awesome for highlights in the end because it is opaque and it stays at the top if you want something to stay completely white. Now, comparing the colors to the official chart, first of all I will say that some of the colors that were supposed to be opaque, completely opaque, were somewhat translucent, which surprised me. Honestly, that of course goes away when they are mixed with white, which is normal. And as for the colors themselves, you can see here one by one that some of them are spot on, exactly the same as they are in the official chart, but a few of them are quite a little bit off. As I go through the whole color chart, it's quite easy to see the numbers now on top of the colors, so if you intend on buying some of them and you want to make sure that the color you're buying is exactly the color you want, this is your opportunity to pause the video and write down the numbers that you may or may not want to buy. I hope this whole video was helpful to you, and especially this comparison right now in the end. I definitely recommend doing your own color chart once you get your own gouache paints in your hands. It's a very useful tool, especially for gouache. It's quite relaxing to create actually, and for me, I have put it inside a plastic sleeve and keep it next to my gouache all the time. It helps me so much when I'm creating art with them. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a thumbs up before you go and consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like this. Hit the bell button to get notified whenever I upload a new video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, be safe, be happy, and keep going for your dreams. Bye!